think it's going to get worse.
We'll see what happens. John, what'd you make of the four verticals call? I know that's a small thing to you because you have you see the game from a little bit of a different perspective than just dumbing it down to one fourth down play call at the end of a playoff game. But that was a big topic of discussion in Philadelphia for a long time after that game, John. And Kevin Patullo fell on the sword, man, for that thing. And now it's come out in this article, which I think is the new piece of information in there, or at least one of the new pieces of information, that Jalen Hurts made that call for four verticals on fourth down versus the Niners. What do you make of it?
Well, there's a lot of context to that. He suggested it. So again, Kevin Patullo could overrule him, and Nick Sirianni can overrule them both. So I do think it's not fair to frame it as Jalen made the call, but that as we talk about collaboration, it's a real thing. Your season's on the line. You want your quarterback comfortable, and that's what he was comfortable with. Would I have overruled him? Yeah. Now I'm more of execute on second and third down, and you're fine. So anytime you're fourth, what was that? 4th and 13, whatever it was.
4th and 11, I think. Yeah.
You're behind the sticks. That's always, and you're in a condensed area because you had been moving the football. So the field is condensed. That's a bad call. But I mean, it's what the quarterback wanted. So it's sort of like a Sophie's choice. And there was a small window for Dallas Goedert, but the ball had to come out like immediate. I mean, foot hit, bang, and maybe you have a chance. I mean, that's not Jalen's strength. And he waited too long, and there's 3 defenders there, and it looks terrible. But yeah, I mean, I've seen Green Bay do that for years, and you're getting a guy from Green Bay. I mean, 4 Burts is like Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, 4-seam fastball. I mean, that's been very successful for them over the years. So I thought that was overblown, but yeah, it's what he's comfortable with.
I won't tell you guys what to think of the article, but I will give you a little bit of an excerpt from it as we talk about this Jalen Hurts stuff here. Here's an excerpt. It says this: though there is plenty of blame to spread, Hurts has had a hand in the offense becoming calcified, according to several team sources who spoke to ESPN on condition of anonymity. I don't know if I said that right.
Anonymity.
He has pushed back on changes that would diversify the scheme, sources said, including when it comes to him going under center more. He has shown a reluctance to let it rip at times, particularly against zone coverage. He diverts from the game plan and changes play calls to what some feel is an excessive degree.
Yeah, the change in the play calls, I mean, that's based on results that I always talk about. So if you talk about Seattle, if you talk about Green Bay, when you make, kill shots and they go poorly, looks bad. Now imagine if the kill shot worked, then he's a hero. So I kind of that part's not as important to me. The calcified part is the more important part, which I think is 100% true. He doesn't like to turn his back to the defense, which was also mentioned in the piece, which is 100% true. And that's what you're doing with play action a lot of the time. So all of that is certainly, confirmation of what we've known for a while. And I don't know if it's a bad thing, unless you, again, start from the foundation of you have to play quarterback in a certain way, which I do not think, and as an old guy, I'm surprised I'm the open-minded one. I do not think is the case, especially in the modern NFL. I think there's a lot of ways to play the position now. It's not 1982. Where everybody played the position the same way, and they used to change guys with athleticism and say, hey, you got to go play receiver, or you got to go play running back. Now, often it starts in high school. You put the best athlete at quarterback and let them go. And you've had this influx of dual threat quarterbacks, and there's good and there's bad to it. Same thing. But look, I'm of the belief you take advantage of the strengths of the player you have, and the Eagles have done that pretty successfully, which is why I'm kind of perplexed why they're moving off that after a season, which I think is tied to more than anything else, the health of the offensive line. So I'm like, why are you throwing the baby out with the bathwater when the offensive line didn't play like the offensive line? My mentality, I said, when I say they act like a 5-win team, my mentality is, all right, let's get these guys healthy, or let's rebuild this offensive line. Do whatever you have to do, and then ride it again. That would be my mentality.
Is there a line of thinking though that they're too reliant on having a top offensive line? I mean, John, all things considered, the offensive line was not that bad last year. Now, it wasn't normal Eagle offensive line, but they were like the number 2 rated pass blocking offensive line. Now, that's not everything, and if you don't trust PFF, maybe you don't believe that ranking, but they were they were graded pretty highly, John. I mean, do you think it's fair to say our offense shouldn't be so reliant on the offensive line being damn near perfect every single game? Does that make sense?
Well, I think, and as good as they were in 2024, they weren't perfect, but I get your point. No, and I say all the time, the margin of error is smaller. That's 100% true. And nobody's saying don't evolve naturally. He has evolved naturally.
Yeah, he has. I just wonder if the league has caught up to the simplified offense that the Eagles run, and maybe that other stuff that they are neglecting or do not want to run would help them.
I honestly think the league has never caught up to a simplified offense in history if you execute it well. Jimmy Johnson Cowboys, the best example. There's nothing anybody could do. Nothing. Simplest offense ever. 3-4 running plays, bunch of vertical routes with receivers who were monsters, play action, accurate quarterback. Everybody knew what was coming. Everybody. You flip it to defense and you say Tony Dungy's Tampa defense specifically, which John Gruden won with. Simplest defense maybe ever created. Like I would always joke, it's never a good thing when Peyton Manning can tell you in March where everybody's going to be lined up on every play. But that's what you could do with Tampa, with Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks and John Lynch and Rondé Barber and those guys. He could tell you in March where they'd line up. Didn't matter.
Well, that Dallas offense you referenced had a pretty damn good offensive line too.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying if you execute it, nobody's catching up to it. They know what's coming, but they're not catching up to it.
But you have to maintain a Hall of Fame offensive line every year. Not that easy to do.
Well, I said the margin of error is not, but you take advantage of the shelf life. And that's not to say you can't evolve inside of that and get better at the stuff that you need to get better at. What I'm saying is you don't take somebody who excels in one style of football and then wake up and say, fuck that. I'm sick of this baby. Let's throw it out. It's kind of morbid, but that's the expression. Then change the quarterback. If you want to go play action.
Well, if you listen to Jeffrey Lurie yesterday, they're not changing the quarterback.
Exactly.
Good stuff. All right, we got Mike Gill in the green room. We'll talk more about this throughout the show today. I want to welcome everybody for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. I know some people are not going to be happy about this article. They are going to shit on it. The anonymous sources, I'm already seeing it pop up in the chat. I see a couple people saying, F that damn article. So it is what it is. Guys,
F that damn article. Fuck the messenger. Fuck him.
Don't shoot the messenger. It is what it is.